one thing is for sure. See, under the act, it is what you call. You can say uh, there's a what I can say. There's a tremendous and huge importance is given to notice and consent. Okay. So notice is typically whenever you are going to a website or a web application, whatever it is, or you are giving a manual form. So they will be giving a privacy notice. Okay. So notice typically it has to be what you call for what they are collecting, how they are collecting, for what purpose, how they are processing, who are their processors. Okay. And who is their DPO or privacy officer. Okay. All these things they have to list it down in the privacy notice. So whenever you get a time, probably you can go to any website and start seeing the privacy notice there. Okay. So that would give you some idea how it is. So logically, before you give consent, for example, saying that I agree to terms and conditions, that means you are also agreeing to the privacy notice at the same point of time. Okay. Whether you have read and understood, that's a different thing. But uh, commonly, it was like a click wrap agreement. That means you are just tick boxing, saying I agree and I have read to kind of thing. Okay. To read 10 pages, how much time it would need? You can ask a lawyer how much time it would take to understand the things that is written, like, to come to some conclusion. So, but I'm sure there were so many downloads that can happen quickly, right? Because you are many of us are lazy even to do a sign up. We might be using our Google, Gmail kind of a thing, or Facebook, whatever, easiest, quickest way, and we would have subscribed to so many applications, right? So now going forward, uh, of course, one thing is for sure, uh, they would give you a fresh notice. Whatever the current consent they would have taken, it would be not valid going forward. They have to take a fresh consent. So it looks like mostly on an annual basis kind of a thing or a rollover kind of a thing they would be taking. We need to see how it would be shaping up. But as of now, whatever you have given it to whatever XYZ company, XY, whatever this one, they will be asking for a fresh consent. Okay. Maybe they'll send you on a mobile. I'm sure how many times you would have seen that there's a change to privacy notice and other things. Okay. Are you still interested? Or if you have any issues, you can reach out to us, right? So if you don't reach out to them, it means you have agreed to that. Okay. So here, since they have to take a fresh consent, they might ask you to uh, click on some link or something where you're giving an access, maybe you're giving a consent. They would be recording that consent. Okay, under that consent, it would be like, I agree to receive the communication regarding to what you call processing of my data. Maybe you would have subscribed for some service or some goods, whatever it could be, only for that. If they had to send you an marketing email, marketing letters, okay, so they might have to take a fresh consent. That's clear. So as long as it would be more or less like now, I'm sure everybody know what do you call HDFC mutual fund example. Okay, or some other mutual fund, they are sending you a happy birthday message. Okay, so that means whatever consent you have given is an explicit consent that you they should have taken only for the processing of the mutual fund or whatever, right? Bank account and other things to what you call to debit or credit your the account with the mutual fund units and other things. But now they are using for multiple other things. You want to make you this one, right? Or they should have just restricted to sending one email with saying that we have allocated so much of funds. I mean, so much of units to your account or whatever, right? So they are sending some marketing and other things. So probably they might have to take a fresh consent, and with your permission, they can probably send you. Okay. So coming to children's data protection, verifiable parent consent, restrictions on profiling. So as of now, this looks more or less a little challenging when it comes to the implementation side. So one thing is there, the government is looking to uh, what do you call push for APAR ID similar to our Aadhaar ID. Okay, So where there would be a digilocker, and then there would be some other digital token or other thing through which it would be processed. So maybe for the government side, they are very clear how exactly it can be done. Okay, but I have my doubts how this can be implemented in an what do you call private sector kind of a thing. Because one thing is clear, if you look at Australia, for example, below 16, they have banned this one, what do you call it, social media. Okay. So, and we have also scenarios where children would give wrong age and declare themselves as adult. In that scenario, how would the social media manage, right? So, is there any method that they can verify this one? Very unlikely, but I'm sure many of you, whoever is using LinkedIn, I'm sure you would have done some verification if you are aware of that uh, through DigiLocker or something. Anybody did that? You'll get a tick mark kind of a thing that you are a verified user, something like that. Okay.
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay. So I'm sure you have the first-hand experience, right? Okay.
It was very much infringement to my privacy. That's what I felt.
Yeah, but end of the day, if you want to access that, yeah, yeah. So yeah, basically, I mean, with respect to children consent, as I told you, if you are a parent, you'd be having tough time, kind of a thing. There are two reasons. One, I'll just give you a small story kind of thing. See, one thing is there in an urban environment. Say, suppose if it is a couple and two kids, for example, they can afford one mobile for each. That means there will be four mobiles in the family, or even sometimes six also, right? Whatever. If you look at the same scenario with a what do you call rural kind of a scenario, right? There it could be one mobile for the whole family, right? So how would you take the consent? Okay. So maybe the kid is smart there, so they might give access to everything. Here the same thing back comes back. Even though they might have mobile, how many people are digitally literate? Right? Literacy is different from a digital literacy, right? How many people knows that there's something called as phishing, there's something called as attack, there's something called as somebody is trying to spoofing. So many things, right? In the digital world. So many of them are not really aware, kind of a thing in this scenario. So the kid might be smart, and they might start giving some access, kind of a thing, on their own. So it is literally, I would say, I mean, this is not the what do you call local challenge. It's a challenge across the globe scenario. So none of them are able to crack it at this point of time. As long as it is for education and other things, I'm sure things will be uh, put in place. But for the other things, we need to see. Maybe it's only a time that we can have an answer at this